completing an inside the union or outside the union apprenticeship, are you going to have the same opportunities? It's going to be different. You know, on the non-union side, you're going to be limited to where you can work. And there's a lot of non-union work out there, but you are still limited onto where you go. So the opportunities are not the same. It's also kind of the same for the union side. If you're a union lineman, you know, you can only really work where there's union work. Welcome to episode 19 of CTQ. CTQ is a segment I do on this channel called Cruise the Questions. This is where I take your guys' questions and I answer them here for you guys to further learn about whatever career you're interested in. Mainly linemen, because it seems like a lot of you guys are interested in lineman trade. I'm a journeyman lineman, been a journeyman lineman for over 4 years now. Got into the trade in 2017, went through an IBW union apprenticeship in the Northwest. Traveled around, I've tramped around, currently in Arizona. So if your guys' questions pertain to the lineman trade, you know, that's kind of my cup of tea. But if you guys have questions about any trades, getting started anywhere, by all means, please ask them. Either put it in the comments down below. That way, the community of people on YouTube watching these videos can maybe help you out with your questions, or email them, austin@bluecollaredu.com, and I'll take them and I'll answer them here for you guys. So with all that being said, today's questions are going to be basically regarding the lineman trade. You know, let's hop into question number one. Now this is kind of like a 2 or 3 part question. So let's see what this guy has to say. This is at Bean Memer 3944. He says, hey, I want to ask about union versus non-union as a lineman. So I'm assuming the journeyman's card is applicable to both union and non-union jobs, but will I have the same opportunities if I complete my apprenticeship outside the union as I would completing it inside the union no matter what? Are there any limitations or differences between the two that I would want to know? And when it comes to picking up jobs for storms or disasters, earning double time and overtime, is earning a journeyman card outside or inside the union going to affect the ability to do any of that? So let's just start with the first part of this question. You are assuming wrong. You said, I am assuming that journeyman's card is applicable to both union and non-union jobs. So I've never worked non-union. I have worked with guys who come from the non-union side who have taken their journeyman test at IBW Hall, and they now have a union IBW journeyman ticket. They are a journeyman lineman. From my understanding, on the non-union side, you don't get that journeyman ticket. You don't get that journeyman card. They have, the way they structure, whether they have like in a training program or an apprenticeship program, is honestly completely different than how the union IBW apprenticeship programs are structured. Non-union, you're gonna start out as like a Class C. They have them classes, Class C, Class B, and you have like a Class A lineman, which is essentially like the journeyman lineman on the non-union side. But to become a Class A lineman, it could take you a year, take you 2 years. And there's no real like structured training program behind that. You just basically work, and then whoever you're working with, your foreman or general foreman or supervisor, whoever is there, is kind of like, oh, hey, you know some stuff. Hey, you're a Class B lineman, or now you're a Class A lineman, and you can go work up on primary. Without all the structured training education that we get inside a union apprenticeship. That's very well structured program to where you're not going up working in a bucket on energized live lines until you're a 4th, 5th step apprentice, already had been in the trade for 4,000 hours. There's those differences between the union and non-union training or structured programs, whatever you want to call them. I say apprenticeships are within the union. Sure, there are structured training apprenticeship programs in the non-union side. Doesn't matter what trade, they kind of have their own kind of structured programs, training programs, if you will, for those people as well. But there's not a journeyman card that's applicable to both the union and non-union jobs. There's just no way to it. I don't have my union card on me currently. It's in my wallet. But I have a yellow ticket. Actually, I'll just grab it really quick. So I have this union ticket right here that says journeyman lineman right here. So journeyman lineman. And this ticket I take anywhere. This is an IBW. You can see kind of the IBW logo is kind of silhouetted in the background there. That is a ticket that I take with me anywhere to any other union hall that I want to work in, whether, that be California, Arizona, Montana, Nevada, wherever I want to go and work, and I want to go sign the out of work books. I basically show this ticket. This is like the main ticket that I need to have. That says journeyman lineman on it, and it says that my dues are paid and stuff. So that's the journeyman's card right there. It shows that basically I've gone through some sort of training program, an apprenticeship program, and I've passed the journeyman lineman test, and I have a journeyman lineman, and I'm good standing, and I've paid my dues. I can see right there. So will you have the same opportunities if you complete an apprenticeship outside the union as I would completing it inside? No, not necessarily. And the reasoning why is because on non-union side, which is primarily in the South, in the Midwest area, and on kind of the Southeast area, Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia's, a lot of places in the Midwest, and Nebraska, Iowa, a lot of those areas is a lot of non-union work, right? So if you are a class A or whatever the journeyman level lineman on the non-union side, you can work on the non-union side. But if you want to work and make great money and have all the union benefits, you're not going to be a class A lineman and come work on the union, take a union lineman job, wherever that may be, on the East Coast, in the North somewhere, on the West Coast, wherever the union hall is at. Like, you're not going to go from Nebraska as a non-union lineman and say, hey, I want to go work in California, because California, it's not a right to work state. There isn't non-union linemen that work there. So you don't have the opportunity. Or let's say Arizona is a right to work state, but a majority of, I would say 90% or so of their work, line work done here, is done by union contractors. Their utilities are union linemen there. So as a non-union lineman, you're not going to be able to just have the same opportunities that a journeyman IBW lineman would have. And that includes being able to travel and work out of these different states, out of these different locals, and get your pay and your benefits doing so. Completing an inside the union or outside the union apprenticeship, are you going to have the same opportunities? It's going to be different. On the non-union side, you're going to be limited to where you can work. And there's a lot of non-union work out there, but you are still limited onto where you go. So the opportunities are not the same. It's also kind of the same for the union side. If you're a union lineman, you can only really work where there's union work. So like North Carolina, there is no union work, or a lot of it's primarily non-union work. So as a union lineman, good luck working there, because there might be like one union contractor in the whole state. So the opportunity to work there is going to be very minimal. A lot of other states that are dominant non-union companies that do work there, if you're a union lineman, you're just not gonna have the opportunity to go there and work as a lineman, and it is what it is, right? So it's kind of the main difference between the opportunities with union and non-union linemen. Second part of this question, are there any limitations or differences between the two that I would want to know? And those what I was just talking about are probably going to be the biggest limitations that are good to know, is that opportunity. The way I look at it, and I don't recommend, I don't know. I've seen people do this, the limitations of like, if you're going to have easier access, I would say, obviously depending on where you live right now and whatever, to get on the non-union side, and you can work class C, class B up to your class A and get some experience and whatnot. And then, apply for union apprenticeships, or maybe even you can test out of a union hall and get your IBW journeyman ticket. But the limitations between the two are really the opportunities that come with being a journeyman IBW union lineman versus just a non-union lineman. Your money, the opportunities, the benefits, they're just structured differently. So, but I honestly think that that's probably your biggest limitation, is just like your ability to work, like in California or Washington or Oregon. or a lot of places, you're not going to be able to work there as a non-union lineman. And that's going to be one of the biggest limitations, in my opinion. Just get into a union apprenticeship and complete a union apprenticeship. You're going to get awesome training. You're going to get, awesome money, benefits. You're going to build a career and have a pension, an awesome retirement, and all the stuff. So just, if you can, I would suggest just looking to get into an IBW union lineman apprenticeship. That could be through a utility if your utility near you is a union, has union lineman, a union apprenticeship, or look for outside lineman apprenticeships, which I talk about in many different videos. You can just go check out the lineman playlist. The third part of this question, when it comes to picking up jobs for storms or disasters, earning double time and overtime, is earning a journeyman card outside or inside the union going to affect the ability to do any of that? Not necessarily. If it's a big enough disaster, like a big hurricane, like the ones just hit last year, anything like that, they kind of try to get all hands on deck, right? Especially if it's in like the South somewhere, Texas, Louisiana, and Florida and stuff, where there's union and there's non-union contractors in that state already. Then they're going to bring in everyone they can to, assess damage and get power back on. So things like that happen. Your opportunity, whether you're on the union side or non-union side, you're going to have the opportunity. Now, when it comes to earning double time or just overtime, that's kind of a different story. Like on the union side, we have contracts. Let's use Florida, for example. When we are down there, their contract, I actually don't know exactly what their contract says, but basically as a union lineman, we're going to be working under local 222's union contract. And if their contract says, if it's a storm or a storm certified disaster type of, work, then it's all double time. So their hourly rate, is, just say $40 an hour. So you're going to be making $80 an hour and you're able to work 16 hours a day. So, you could do the math on, whatever 80 times 16 times 7. That's the kind of money you'll make as a union lineman. Now, non-union, it could be completely different. The contractor you're working for, the company you're working for might say, hey, or, FP&L or Duke Energy or whoever might just be like, hey, yeah, we'll pay you guys time and a half. But if your normal hourly rate, wherever you're coming from, is $30 an hour, and you're getting time and a half, where you're making $45 an hour. So I don't know. I will say that you'll make a lot more money on the union side as a union journeyman lineman. Anywhere you go, you're going to make more money for the most part, especially on storms and disasters and things like that. A lot of times it's all double time, except for maybe here and there, you'll get time and a half for mobbing and demobbing. Essentially traveling essentially is where you'll make time and a half or just regular overtime. So earning double time and overtime, yeah, that is a big difference between the union and non-union side. Earning a journeyman card outside or inside the union going to affect the ability to do all that? Yes. Like I said, you can go back to the first part of the question. Journeyman card on the union side is what I know. It's this yellow ticket right here. A journeyman card on the non-union side, I don't think exists. Yeah, you might have a white ticket or a white card that says you're a Class A lineman, but it doesn't say on here, like right here, it says journeyman lineman right there. And that's what that means. And that's my full understanding of, you can be a journeyman lineman on the union side, and you could be a non-union Class A lineman on the non-union side. So that's what I know about the union and non-union side when it comes to line work. If any of you are work non-union, please in the comments down below, better explain this from what your experience is, just because I don't have personal experience working on the non-union side at all. Everything I know about the non-union side is just from what I've heard from people I've worked with on the non-union side, and just traveling around and being able to work a lot of places in the country. I just gathered some information and some experience and just know what I basically explained. Let's hop into the second question, which is coming from a guy who commented at Jaziel-SC3QM. He says, hello, sir. I know I'm a bit late. However, I was wondering, do you get paid as you attend Lineman College? Like, for example, if I go to either SWOLCAT or Northwest Lineman College, will I be getting paid as I attend these classes? I also had another question. Sorry. I'm from Arizona, and I don't know exactly which college to attend to. Do I have to save up and travel out of state as I attend, or can I just take your Livewire Academy classes and then just apply any lineman apprenticeship through an online page? I'm sorry if that didn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, that whole question doesn't make any sense, but I have to remind myself, people don't necessarily have the knowledge of knowing the difference between like lineman school and a lineman apprenticeship, and they kind of think it's the same thing, which it's not. So hear me out on this. Do you get paid attending if you're going to a lineman college? No, you're not going to get paid. Now, unless you're using like a GI Bill or something like that, I don't know, military, how they're structured, like maybe you get paid while you're in school. I don't know. As a normal civilian with, if you're going to a lineman college, you're paying out of pocket to go to that school. You're not getting paid while you're there. That's a technical school. It's like enrolling in a college, and you're going to pay for a semester out of pocket to go and to get training, education, tools, certifications, and those things, whatever you get from that lineman college you go to. So no, you will not be getting paid to go to a lineman college. You will be paying someone to go to that lineman college. The confusion here for you is, example, if you go to SWOLCAT. Now, SWOLCAT, Southwest Lineman Contractor Training, is a apprenticeship. It's a union apprenticeship that covers, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Nebraska, one other state. And yes, if you're an apprentice in the SWOLCAT apprenticeship, you're getting paid while you're in the apprenticeship, while you're working. Now, yes, you have classes that you will need to go to inside the apprenticeship. You'll have weekend classes, or you'll have a week class, or you'll have a Saturday class or Sunday class, whatever the class schedule is. When you go to those classes, you won't necessarily be getting paid while you're in class. Maybe the contractor covers you, maybe they do, maybe they don't. That's neither here nor there. But you are not getting paid to go to class. But if you're in an apprenticeship and you're working, you're getting paid. Of course, unless you're laid off, you're not getting paid unless you collect unemployment. But an apprenticeship is completely different than lineman college. So that's the first thing you need to learn. Lineman college, it's just a technical school that you're paying to go to learn. Lineman apprenticeship, like SWOLCAT, is a training program where you're going to be getting learning in class, in the field, and earning while you're learning at work, while you're working and doing physical, like it's a 9-to-5 essentially. Like you're working for a company, you have a foreman, you have a journeyman, you have maybe another apprentice with you, you're working on a crew, you're doing physical labor that's contributing to whatever contractor you're working for. So it's completely different things. You also say you're from Arizona. I don't know exactly which college to attend to. I don't know what college you should go to either, to be honest with you. I'm not even going to recommend any colleges for you, because in Arizona, I don't know. If I'm being completely honest with you, Northwest Lineman College is obviously the biggest one. There's like Prime Line Academy, which I've heard good things about up in like Utah or Idaho. But I personally don't know what lineman school would be good for you. So that's gonna be kind of on your own to do your own research to see. Obviously, the things I would look for if you're going to go to a lineman college is see if they're going to get you your Class A CDL, no auto restrictions, and any other certifications are great to have. CPR first aid, flagging, OSHA 10, OSHA 20, 30, those certifications, but mainly Class A CDL, no auto restrictions is going to be the most important one. Make sure if you're going to go to a college, lineman school, that they're going to get you that. Otherwise, I feel like you're wasting your time going to that school if they don't even at least get you your Class A CDL. And then you ask, do I have to save up to travel out of state if you attend? Yeah. If you want to go to a lineman school and you're going to have to move out of state, yeah, you better start saving up. when you enroll, if you want to go to Northwest Lineman College or whatever school you end up wanting to, or end up going to, then yes, you're going to have to save up some money to obviously either pay for school or get a loan to go to school to pay for school, and then save up money for a living or whatever it costs. I don't even really know anymore. But yes, you will have to travel. If you're going to travel for school, you're going to have some money saved up. Can you just take my Livewire Academy classes? You can. You can pay for those classes, pay for that course if you want to. What I'm telling you though, Livewire Academy is not a course that's going to get you a job in the trade. It's a strictly educational based course that's going to teach you A to Z, the nuts and bolts, the ins and outs, the insides of the lineman trade, getting started, applying, all the things you need to know as a groundman, as an apprentice, on how to apply. The things that are going to get you started to get your foot in the door. This is not a class or a course that's going to get you a job. So do not think that if you pay for the course that you're going to get a job at the end of the course. This is strictly an educational based course. I teach a lot of stuff for free on YouTube anyway, so I'm not telling you to buy it, but if you really want to learn in depth about getting started in the trade and what's going to help you, the different materials, and just getting like a good head start before you get into the trade, I think it's a great thing you can go enroll in Livewire Academy. I'll have a link in the description if you guys want to check it out. And then just apply any lineman apprenticeship through an online page. Yes, that's honestly what you need to do is once you have your Class A CDL, you can invest your money in some tools and you just apply for apprenticeships when they open. Mountain states, they have their open application all year long. You just apply, Swolecat, if you're in Arizona or Texas or New Mexico or Nebraska resident, you can apply, I think, anytime. So yeah, you just apply as long as you meet their minimum requirements, which is 18, high school diploma or GED, have your high school transcripts, a Class A CDL, be able to pass a drug test and maybe one or two other requirements, and you meet those requirements, and yeah, you just apply online on their webpage. You just look up any one of those acronyms. I have the map right here. Just type in any one of those acronyms on Google, and it's going to bring you straight to that page to learn more about apprenticeships in those jurisdictions. So, that was a lot. But hopefully you guys can learn. I enjoy these not technical questions, but a little more in depth. There's a lot of specifics about this trade. If you're trying to learn about, you have questions. Just go ahead and ask them, email them to austin@bluecollarud.com or put them in the comments down below, and I'll take them and I'll answer them on the next episode of CTQ. So with all that being said, if you guys want to learn more about the lineman trade, you can go to bluecollaredu.com/lineman, or I'll have links in the description down below where you can just go click and learn more on how to get started and what it takes and all the other things like that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And with Blue Collar EDU, I'm here to expose, teach, educate you guys about blue collar career opportunities, how to get started in a skilled trade. All that being said, I'll catch you guys on episode 20 of CTQ.